Hello, everyone, and welcome to another CineQuest video. Today, we're going to be talking about a movie that is about Satanic Hispanics. Alrighty, hello, everyone, and welcome to CineQuest video. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about the movie Satanic Hispanics that actually came out in 2023, released, I believe, and just recently started streaming on Shudder.
Yep.
I do have your mother's lover joining me right now.
Tis I.
And Alistair Sharkwater, thank you for joining us. I think it's your first time on the episode from the last time we interviewed you. So
thank you for having me. And I just want to say you're doing the Lord's work. You're watching Steven Seagal, so we don't have to.
We're trying to get all that in,
Jeez.
And we're not done yet. There's a lot of Steven Seagal to watch.
There's more to go. Oh shit.
I love every variation of Aikido, man. That's some interesting stuff.
Oh yeah.
His variation is probably the most interesting and entertaining.
Hey, I love that he can also do it sitting down, so he doesn't have to get up.
It's a talent.
It is a talent.
He's cultivated it over the years, and I mean, we can't do not but appreciate that skill. I mean, I wish I could do that someday.
Well, like I said, we're going to be talking about Satanic Hispanics, a movie that came out in 2023, barely streaming on Shudder for the first time. And it's an anthology movie with, I believe it's 6 chapters. It took me a while because I saw it twice already, and I was kind of wondering, I kind of forgot what the chapters were. I think I have them correct here, and correct me if I'm wrong if I bring it up.
What more is to say? What's his name from?
I noticed you got kind of like a Pai Mei thing from Kill Bill, the way you're going at that beard. I love it.
Oh,
that's your one.
Thanks, dude. Yes. Someday I actually want to. I think I've made this joke to you before, Ray. It'd be cool to get Nick Cage from his Grindhouse commercial or whatever, when he's pretending to be Fu Manchu. Someday, it's the gold standard.
All right, let me just go through the synopsis here of Satanic Hispanics. Police raid a house in El Paso, Texas, and find one lone survivor of a brutal massacre. Taken into custody for questioning, the mysterious man starts telling them strange tales of other worlds, mythical creatures, demons,
Pedro
and the
from
undead.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought to my head.
It took me a while to recognize him, but before that, I thought I'd vote for this dude.
Yeah, he had he had a very different type of nature to him that I wasn't used to. It's very stern, awesome. Very stoic.
He had 2 parts in this sort of movie, right? The original, and then was it the second to last chapter? Wasn't that also him as the holder of the hammer of Zanzibar?
God, may the hammer of Zanzibar come down on your enemies, my friends.
Oh man, I mean, we'll start here in a minute, but I just gotta ask, did either of you guys see that coming? Because
no, I did not. No,
bad joke.
I would hope not to.
I was really guessing. I was like, "There's no way it's gonna be a," and then the store owner starts going into this long-winded story and getting very descriptive and making the other 2 guys in the room very uncomfortable. And so I was like, okay. At first I was like, maybe he's not. Nope. Yep. He's going in deep.
I love that his story started off with a friend saying, "We really don't have a lot of time," and the store owner goes, I went on travels to find myself.
And they immediately just kind of like, oh, all right, sit there and get comfy.
Just real quick, I want to go through y'all's thoughts about the movie in general. Just your overall thoughts of the movie. Alistair, we can go with you first.
The thing with anthologies is it's a game of Russian roulette. One bad story can nuke the whole movie. So I always hesitate a bit with anthologies, but this one, had one story I didn't really hit me that much, but so much of it was so goddamn good and fun too. The story with Hammer Zanzibar, that was the most Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
It so was, man. Like there were so many like this. It was awesome.
And El Vampiro was, I love that actor, man. It was a fun story as well.
Yeah, I thought the cast was pretty great. I didn't quite recognize a lot of these people at first, but when I started looking some folks up, and I'm like, holy shit, that's okay. That's this guy. That's this guy. That's this guy. Like the Vampiro character. That's actually played by this guy who's done a lot of pretty cool bit roles. What's his name? I know I had it here. Hemki Madera. He was in, I guess, Spider-Man Homecoming. I think he was the owner of that, like it was like a meat market, I think, where he's like Peter Parker goes in and I think he talks to him and the guy responds in Spanish and telling him that he's like, oh, it's the kid with the hot ant. And that's when like Peter Parker responds with in Spanish because he didn't think he was going to understand him. He's like, oh, what does he say? He's like, your daughter is pretty hot too, or some shit. And then his face he just gets pissed. But like apparently he was the voice of Chorizo from Rango, which I hadn't really seen that much.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. And he's got an episode in The Mandalorian, which I was like, oh shit, that's cool,
Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't really look this up, but the guy from the Hammer of Zanzibar, isn't that the guy from Destroy All Neighbors?
Yes, it is.
It is that guy, right? Okay.
That shit was so fucking great across Alex Winters. He was also in the last iteration of MST3K on Netflix. He was the host. He was the new He was the janitor guy, I guess, for that noise. And I couldn't figure out. I was like, why does he look like this guy? But also like, I'm fucking confused. And I looked him up. I was like, oh shit, it's both of them. Awesome. It was I can't. So, Alistair, you had said there was one of these chapters that kind of didn't gel with you. Was it by chance the shaman episode, the shaman chapter?
That it was. It didn't have like that first story, the one with the guy who did the Rubik's cubes.
Right.
It wasn't a lot of humor.
I would have liked that if that was an entire movie itself. That was really cool. I really like that when he's figuring out
I guess whatever puzzle it is, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I guess he was some sort of math savant of some sort that he was able to create or figure out an algorithm to transcribe the puzzle of the Rubik's Cube into like, the reality around him using colors and lights, right?
The moment he had that flashlight going and it had the strobe effect, in my mind, in my heart, I was going.
Yeah, he was a really good actor. They all were. In that one in particular, I really liked. I don't know, that like it kind of threw me for a loop a couple of times in there. In particular, how I guess it ends with. Well, it's kind of hard to describe, really.
Yeah,
like we saw like different like images of himself that were dead, but like then he was supposed to not be alive or something like that. And then like
something like that, yeah.
The portal that he opens brought in like this like I guess this like zombie corpse that was just completely mutilated, and the paranormal guy thought it was his mother, but the guy was talking to him like, I don't think that's your mom, man. And then as he sends the pictures to his sister of this thing, she responds like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's just a picture of yourself. And it's like there's a lot of cool little like not really twists, but like details that they pulled in there. I did expect that one because I was like, oh, he's gonna take a picture or some shit. It's not gonna be that. It's gonna be something else. When the paranormal guy saw the corpso and like his reaction, I was like, fuck, he thinks it's its mom. And he immediately jumps. And I was like, shit, that's awesome.
I was not expecting that explosion of just.
Thank you. That's why I was like, oh shit, they're all flickering and like, what's going on? And then just, well, he's fucked. Like that was really nifty.
So I guess I think I want to just get at Roland. You overall you did kind of enjoy the movie, and
For the most part, yes, I enjoyed it very much, man.
Okay, I will say that I enjoyed it very much as well. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed like the practical effects of the whole movie in general. But let's go down and like break down, I guess, the chapters or the stories themselves, because you know we suggested or made a hint that there was some that didn't like really hit, or there was one that really didn't hit. So initially we have the Juan, who's Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. He's the traveler, and apparently he's immortal. You know, and death or San La Muerte is after him, which is the Colombian version of the Santa Muerte, which is from Mexico. Apparently,
it's a different.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I've heard it's like a Candyman situation, so let's be careful not to say the name too much.
I've already said it like a few times today, unless they have to be like right close to each other to say it. Like I don't know.
I did like how he made the distinction between the two, though. It's like, oh yeah, that's from Mexico. This is from South America.
Well, you know, when he made the cop made the correction to him. See, I thought the same thing. I didn't really think there was a difference, but apparently there is. So
yeah, I mean, it's a different religion.
Yeah, but so they find him in like a house that's like just with a bunch of people that have been killed, and
those cops RoboCop the shit out of that that dude right in the beginning.
I was getting hardcore Saw 9 vibes because there was a trap that had like a guy's marionette hand going up.
It was so funny, dude. Every time the hand, he's got a gun.
Well, I think that's what set the tone for me for this movie, because I mean, I wasn't sure it was gonna get like comedic in some way. But when I saw that part and he keeps on raising the gun and keeps shooting him, I was like, okay, this is gonna have an element of comedy to it as well.
Yeah.
So they find Juan, and then they take him to the interrogation room, and they're trying to get him to admit to who he is, and he basically goes. I thought it was kind of funny whenever he starts going into a story, and they're kind of just like, oh, like don't tell us any stories. I felt like that with certain like I want to say elders, but like my aunts and or my great aunts and stuff, at some point or another, instead of just telling you straightforward as Mexican culture, they don't just tell you straightforward what they mean. It always has to be some kind of parable or a story to go along with it. And I felt the detective's reluctancy to just hear the story. I was just like, oh great, here we go.
I think by the time they got to what's the guy's name, Malcolm, or
that's at the
what was his name?
That first chapter was called The
Malcolm.
Traveler, right? I'm not wrong about that. I thought I had missed it. And he goes into the next one, which is the Seer. We were talking about this guy earlier, which is Gustavo, who can open a portal, seems like, to the other side using some kind of algorithm, mathematic equation. That chapter was called También lo vi.
Right.
That's okay. My Spanish is gonna be bad on this one. Like,
it's fine.
So that we were just talking about that earlier. I thought that was probably the most serious version of the most serious story. It seems leading off from like that comedic little beginning part until this real serious story. And again, practical effects. You all mentioned that wherever he's closing the portal quickly, and then like everything just kind of just explodes. That was amazing. That was cool.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably the most concise, I guess, chapter sort of thing. That like I really liked the way that whole thing was written and shot. I compared to the others, like there were a lot of horror comedies, and then they just some others that I guess didn't quite have that cohesiveness that this one did, and I thought it was pretty cool. They pulled it off pretty well with like what four people or something. There was Juan. There was the first paranormal dork. The second one.
Nope. Wait. Sister. First one was a pizza man.
Oh, he was. That's right. He wasn't. That's right. I wasn't sure. I was like, is that the fucking pizza guy? Like, why does he?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
If you ask pizza guys around the valley, man, that's probably a Tuesday night, man.
Ray.
I can concur as being a past delivery driver. Like shit like that could probably happen to you. Strange people will invite you to their house and you don't know what you might be getting into. Now, things don't line up the way you normally would think. You're not in some kind of nice erotic film or anything. It's just people trying to mess with you. So, like,
hey,
or trying to
gentlemen,
kick your
don't
ass
tell.
with pizza. People will try to kick your ass with pizza. That's a fact. So we can move on to the El Vampiro. That was probably the silliest one to me. It was just silly.
I loved
fun,
it.
silly movie.
It was so funny. The woman that played Maribel was actually I thought I recognized her too. I saw her she was actually from the first 2 Mummy movies. She played
That's right.
Anaxunamun, the woman lover
Okay.
from
That was her?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't recognize her. Holy shit.
I was like, why does she look? And I was like, all right, what is this? Oh shit. Awesome. Like she's been in a lot of things since then. Yeah.
I thought she looked familiar too, but I was like, I couldn't for the life of me recall where she had come out from.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, Patricia Velasquez. That's her name.
There you go.
Like, I didn't even know she was not like I just straight up assumed, oh, she's Egyptian or something, like in the movie, you know? Like fuck. But like wait, no, is it? Yeah, that's she's also in the Curse of La Llorona. Haven't you checked that one out, Ray?
I've seen a lot of
Llorona
movies, and they're not the greatest.
Was that the Conjuring one or the one on Shudder?
I think it was the Conjuring. Let me list real quick.
Well, there was also another one I saw with Danny Trejo, like back in 2022. That was the first movie I saw, and it was bad.
It is the Conjuring one, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one I saw that with Danny Trejo was so low budget. The story was terrible. The acting was bad.
Which one? There's a lot. He's done
the one I saw with Danny Trejo.
Garbage.
The Llorona movie with Danny Trejo. That's the one I saw.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen others, but like that's like the worst I've seen.
She was in Arrested Development as well. She was
That's
Marta.
right. She was. Yeah, that's right.
Marta Estrella. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like holy shit. And in Malignant, she was the nurse. Nurse Velasquez. Yeah. It's fun. Like, again, I was very impressed by this cast. They were just like a lot of people out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck is she doing here? I mean, and I love that the vampire episode, the vampire story. It's like, what was right before Pedro, I'm going to call him that for the rest of this. Sorry. Went into that story. What is he like? The cops were like, "You're not going to tell us a fucking vampire story." I was like, "I'm about to tell you a fucking vampire story." Like, it was fucking great.
And I was trying to figure out the reason why he had gone into that. It was just to like kind of give some kind of trust or like some kind of
right. He was trying to prove to them. He's like, "Hey, I know who killed your." Yeah. He was trying to pull back the curtain, and tell them that he's not full of shit, even though like as they go along, they're figuring shit out. Like, oh, they just so happen to have the fucking Saint Killer pistol in a goddamn like filing cabinet in the back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look at this little bullet." And the cop is like, "I thought that looked kind of familiar," and she just fucking, "I'm gonna go get an aspirin." I'm like, what the fuck is this? Okay, dude. It was funny. It was so funny.
It was funny,
all of it.
Yeah.
I will tell you, man, when he found out daylight savings time had hit, and good timing when I saw this too. Good timing. But when that hit, and he was like, I could turn into a bat. And the wife says, like, when was the last time you did it? If I can turn into a bat, I am going to be like Animorphs in this bitch. Okay. I'm never stopping. Okay?
He's like, I haven't done it in a while. All right. And then he's just walking around trying to flap and just,
it was hilarious when he's on that scooter. Yeah. He's on that fucking scooter.
Yeah. He like gets egged by those. I think they're cast on here as punks 1 through 3. With those dudes dressed like clowns or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, this sort of felt like we were watching an episode of What We Do in the Shadows, but in like Mexico.
Yeah.
You know? Or no, sorry, it was in El Paso. It was in El Paso.
He could be a character in What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh fuck yeah,
for sure.
Fuck yeah. I mean, both of them would be great. Like it was. Yeah, I mean, all of it was there. Holy shit! Like, I mean, there's really nothing there in there that wasn't like, okay, this is perfect. You know, when he's hypnotizing the cops, going back and forth, like, and it's like that gag almost ran too long, almost, but it was so perfect that I was like, fucking keep going. Like, does it end here? And he gets hit with the sun or something? Like, god damn it! It was just so fucking.
They did some twist on like the powers of a vampire and stuff, which I thought were really funny. Like you said, normally when they like hypnotize one person, they'll just stay there for a while, but it only like works if he's like looking at him. Now.
He's like, he's like, all right, I've got you.
Yeah,
and he gets stabbed in by the kid. You know, the heart's on the wrong side, kid. And he gets the worst.
The cops like holding the guy's head and stuff, and he's just like tasting it and shit.
He's like, "What kind of syrup is this? This tastes like blood. Oh my god, it's in my mouth!"
Serious Tropic Thunder vibes right there. It's just like,
yeah.
What was the other cop saying? He's like, "You can't mess with their minds like that, man." Like, it's so fucking funny.
It's good stuff.
Oh, I loved it. It watching that made me feel I was watching like the horror version, and I think when the director was interviewed, he mentioned like the callback to like old Univision like shows and stuff from when we were like kids, where it's like it's just some goofy little like, well, it's an adult or whatever, usually pretending to be a kid or do like kid cartoonish stuff, and like this, that's all I've like thought I was, you know, I got that impression watching this, which I thought was kind of cool. Granted, it was, you know, it was a horror. So
horror comedy,
yeah, and it was pretty great. I mean, I did like, I don't know, like the way a lot of humor was set up was it was cheesy, but it was like so perfectly timed. Like when the guy walking his dog meets him in the beginning, he's like, fucking Halloween, you know. And at the end as well, he's like taking out the trash, like, you know, same shit. I was like, oh, he's gonna say it, yeah.
Was it the same guy?
Was like, blah.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so.
You know, question about that. Whenever he does see that guy for the first time, is he saying blood or is he going blah?
Right? No, he goes blah, because I had the subtitles on. They actually spell that out, BLAH. I was like, blah blah.
I need to incorporate that more in my life. Just like blah.
Oh, dude,
and just respond that way to everybody. Blah.
It's versatile.
It was super funny. Dude.
So we're going into the next chapter, which was chapter 4, which is the Nahuales.
Right. Yeah. So that's yeah, sort of. I mean, yes, it is. It's the shaman one, but the Nahuale. No, sorry, Nahuale. Nahuale is, from what I had read about it, it's South America's version of what we understand to be skinwalkers. That is to say, like these witch people cast, you know, that are in tune with, I guess, the sort of darker forces of nature, and they're able to turn themselves into, you know, animals and stuff. Yeah. I when I saw the woman, the shaman lady, you know, start to anamorph out, like I was like, oh shit. And then like she stopped and I'm like, oh, it looks like, I thought it looked like the kid from the original Jumanji when he like tries to cheat and like he gets turned into that little animal with the tail and shit. He's like half monkey, half like possum or whatever.
I was getting what was it, that cat people vibes.
That was the first one, dude. I was like, oh no, please not cats. So I immediately like glommed onto this. I was like, no, it's Jumanji.
I will say this, the only thing that story in particular kind of like drifted off a bit. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. I tried to watch it again. But the only thing that grabbed me in this story were the effects, you know, when she's like digging her face and pulling all this stuff off. That was cool. But I mean, other than that, I didn't really.
Other than that,
I wasn't paying attention too much on that story. And I rewound it to watch it again because I thought I'd missed something.
Me too.
And then I was just kind of like,
the ending. I had to watch that a few times because I was like, "What the fuck is she?" Okay, those are people, but why are they in the? Okay, I think it was some sort of tragedy that she mentions.
Yeah.
It looked like they had bags over their heads.
Yeah, that's what it seemed
so
like.
I was like, is that how they killed them or something? Maybe, and that's why they were angry or talking about how there was no God or person that was watching out for them when this tragedy happened, or this great, I think she said this great evil was committed upon them, that sort of thing.
And also, I'm curious, like going into that story, what was the reason for him telling that story? I didn't remember that.
He
the
had
vial
a
of
yeah.
Yeah, and they were like,
Okay.
"What'd you get this?" And he's like, could be people blood, could be something else, you know.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah. Like, fuck. I really liked the shots, the camera shots in that story. I will say that, you know, the setting was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And parts of it had really interesting elements, but like
I would say
overall,
the story was probably the weakest. That was the weakest one for
yeah,
sure.
and so were the I guess the sons. You know, the strongest part of that story was the shaman woman herself. She's the one that had the most, I guess, agency, and she was the one that was explaining everything as well. Because like it really doesn't go into much. The main guy who gets, I guess, who gets attacked and taken to them, like he was some kind of politician or something that was
He
working with
was
the
working for
CIA.
the CIA. He was trying to give up a politician, but also that it goes to the question: why is he getting abducted by them?
Yeah, like they just said that. I think he said that he was promised power or strength or something like that. Like that there was some sort of agreement, but it's not really explained, like what he did.
Yeah.
And then they were just pissed about it because I assume that instead of helping them, he was going to run away to America or something like that. Instead, I'm not sure.
And then they killed him.
Yeah, and they killed him, and then it's just sort of ended like on itself or whatever. Then just being like, "We're strong," and bloop, that's it. You know, it's like
maybe the traveler didn't have all the information for that particular story, but that was a nice anecdote to pass the time.
He did say that he showed up after the fact, and that's where he got the vial. So I guess that's as good as that explanation for it as any, because yeah.
So we'll go on to the next chapter, and that had no title. It was just chapter 5. That one's about Malcolm and the Hammer of Zanzibar. Probably to me it was probably the funnest one.
Yeah,
of the whole anthology.
Far.
Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah.
There were a lot of
very Evil Dead, like straight up for sure.
Yeah. Oh man.
5 friends record a ritual, and of course, all of them get hunted one by one.
Hey, you know, it almost reminded me of like even like the Evil Dead show. It had a lot of like elements to that, and I mean, I tried to find a little bit more information on the directors and maybe like their approach to the stories, but I really couldn't find much, to be honest with you.
So I only found
one of the two.
I only found that one interview that I mentioned. It was like a page. I'll probably send it to you later. But he did talk about his influences, his inspiration for this movie, and it was straight up Evil Dead, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. Like, you know, he's a big Tarantino fan. And what else am I forgetting in there? Like I said, the Univision channel and stuff, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So perfectly tracked. I had to know after I saw that one. I was like,
that sequence with that he pulls out like the fucking gun and starts blasting away. Then he has like the fucking what is the smaller what guns are those called?
Right?
Uzis.
Submachine guns. Guns.
And then he like just lays out the clips on her on that, and then breaks out the fucking handguns and stuff. I was just like, how many? This guy just having like riddled with weapons on him, you know, just a whole bunch of guns, you know, and just like firing the bullets like crazy. And then in the middle of all that, when he breaks out the fucking Hammer of Zanzibar, decides to tell her this whole backstory, which was also
right.
hilarious.
It's a backstory to a backstory. I was like, oh fuck, this can go. This, please don't fuck this up, guys. Like, yeah, it was great though.
Not since the movie Sorority Girl or Sorority Boys have I seen such aggressive dildo fighting.
Oh, that was.
You know that story that the guy tells was just so funny as he's like they're just slowly progressing into the reveal.
You'll eat your mother's heart. You'll eat your mother's heart.
The reveal of the hammer.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The reveal of the hammer was like hilarious in itself because it just has that whole look to it. It's just a huge.
Yeah, they were just like freaking out. They were like, all of that was inside you. And yeah, dude, he's like, geez, and you know, then he takes out his friend, and you're like, how much do you want for it? Like, I loved how when he hits the demon with it, he's out of focus in the background. He's like, yeah, he's so proud. He's like, I got something that'll hurt you, you know. Like he's just standing there with this like dynamic pose, trying to look awesome. And I'm like, he's holding a dildo, isn't he? Like, fuck. There's no way. Like, because he's like slapping him in the face with it, and I was like, it's got a funny shape. Oh no. That was I really loved.
It was so much fun. Yeah.
The demon floating around, there was just so much Evil Dead in there. It was so cool. All the ridiculous guns, you know, the fighting, how he tries to fight, mostly gets his ass kicked around. I really liked that punk song or whatever that was playing, the King Zombie.
Yes,
that was really cool. I tried to look for it, but I was like, fuck, it's a soundtrack or it's a scoring for this. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I couldn't track it down because I was just like, this is cool. Like, it sounded fucking awesome.
Yeah, it lends well to the scene, you know, like it really,
the King Zombie
encompasses the energy and the comedy of it, you know.
And I mean, oh, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine, dude. Go ahead.
Plus the reveal that the restaurant was indeed open and he ended up killing a bunch of people.
Yes, jeez, that was a fun little Shyamalan twist, and then he twisted again back into the humor when they go back into Pedro and being like, "So where's this guy? What do you mean? He's a white guy surrounded by dead Latinos. They let him go." Like, of course they let him go. You know, like, oh, he's a white guy. Like, yeah, end of story. Like, he was I think he was probably one of the only ones to survive. Actually,
yeah, that scene, yeah.
I really loved
great stuff.
Okay, so that was the second of the last chapter, right?
Right, that was chapter 5. Chapter 6 is the San La Muerte.
Yeah, that one gave me some Desperado vibes, man. That shit was fucking cool. You know, they were playing. They scored it really well with, you know, that I guess would be considered slightly more traditional music with the brass horns and stuff, and all the gunfight. You know, now that I think about it, like, we should try to find like the number of movies where there's an actual gunfight in a freaking police station, because now I can think of a few times that's happened and shit just goes crazy. And it was fucking cool. I really liked the reveal and how they handled San La Muerte. Like, it was just like, fuck, awesome. Holy shit.
So cool. Like, all the gunfire, you know, tearing off pieces of the mask and the costume getting revealed.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, beautiful.
And going straight up Aztec fucking.
Honestly, even if they had stayed with that just original look, that still would have been cool as well.
Yeah.
That whole reveal of the actual demon itself looked really cool because it had a very I mean, I assume it was like some kind of Aztec traditional look to it, you know. And that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like, it was just like, okay, he's already fucking looking crazy awesome, like, you know, with these fucking Darth Vader Sith powers and shit, like controlling people and fucking flinging them around and whatever, doing the fingers of doom. And then like it just has like a straight up like slow-mo process reveal, you know, where it's like, oh fuck, now you're absolutely fucked, you know. And then here comes Pedro like a little badass. What's up, you know, with the fucking flintlock? What does he say? He says something like "for God" or whatever. And when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, did he miss?" Because like you see the bullet and it kind of goes like I figured he was gonna go center mass or something, and I think it actually hit him in the shoulder or some such.
Well, no, he took one bullet, right? One bullet to do the job.
Yeah, the Saint Killer bullet.
But it's, I mean, it's just like a temporary, like, kill for that thing.
I kind of thought that it was going to.
He has 90 minutes.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was going to pull a trigger and it was going to go click or something. Like I was like, oh, let it happen, and then no, he shoots him, and I was like, fuck, that's still awesome. Like holy shit.
And the bullet was what was it? The iron from the cross that
that's right.
was done with Jesus, and I was like,
it was the sawdust. It was mixed in with the sawdust and the nails, right? From the nails that they put him on the cross with. Yeah. Oh, dude, that was fucking cool. Like I was like, holy shit, that's like, I don't know, that's some pretty cool like you know, supernatural horror kind of like little, or well, like I should say not.
Well, do you guys remember that movie? What's that movie where they're in the diner and then all the demons are coming? Don't they have something like that?
Legion.
Also? Yeah, don't they incorporate some kind of like blood of Christ with a spear or something? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. I know there's a movie that incorporates like the spear that pierced the side of Christ or something.
That's
I could be wrong.
Constantine does that.
Oh, it's Constantine. Okay, that's Constantine.
Well.
Sorry, I thought it was Legion.
No. Like it's been used. It's been fucking it's a trope at this point. You know, it's been used. The spear of Levitine, Longinus.
Yeah. Also, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. That's what had the thing with the container.
Yeah, there you go.
Blood of Christ. That's right. The key. Yeah. The spear of Destiny was also in. Was it the first Hellboy movie? I'm not sure. I think they mentioned it when because every time anybody tries to talk about like Hitler, Nazis, and supernatural stuff, they always involve the fucking spear of Destiny, that kind of thing. So it's like, oh, okay, I've seen that. Cool. I like it. It doesn't bother me at all. I would probably like to see it used more often, if anything.
Yeah, I would say it's not like at this point it doesn't seem like it's been overdone to the point where it's just a cliche. But it is, it is a trope that they use sometimes. But I don't really see it as something that's been used too often in horror movies. Necessarily.
It is an iconic prop at this point. Yeah. The spear that pierced Christ. Yeah, it's cool.
Even in anime, Evangelion, there was a giant ass spear.
Yeah. That was a straight up reference to that. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that one. It's been a while since I've seen any of that stuff, but it definitely crosses into that territory. Mm-hmm.
Listen,
well, I would say like overall. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying I could do with one of these movies a year, man. That's how much fun I had. Plus the freaking. Pedro, man, he was like a Latino Doctor Who, man, with all the stories and the immortality. Love that shit.
Yeah.
I liked his performance, even though it's kind of like cheesy and a little bit hammy, but like I think he did well with that though. Yeah, I think overall with this movie, like it was just a fun. I wasn't expecting it to be have as much fun watching this as I did.
Yeah, I actually thought it was gonna be a slog. I looked at the time and I was like, "Fuck, 2 hours." All right, but no, like, what did you? I thought the pacing was pretty damn good. What did you guys think
considering
that,
like the stories themselves weren't too long, you know, they had a good length to them, and
they were it dragged at all.
They were entertaining enough to like keep you engaged, you know.
Yeah.
Personally speaking.
No, I was the same way. I had 2 screens going, and I was like, I was gonna try to do something else, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna watch this. Never mind. So I really loved it.
I've been waiting for this movie for a long time. I wasn't sure if it came out anywhere down in the valley in theaters because I know it was supposed to be released back in September. I wasn't sure if there was any showings around here. I kind of tried to keep an eye out for it, but I didn't see it. I could have missed it. But
I know Tigers Are Not Afraid. It showed at the El Rey back in the day before it came out on Shudder or anything. I regret not seeing that when I could.
Yeah, I know that there's a few Shudder films that are coming out, and I know there's gonna be at the AMC specifically. The Night with the Devil is one of them, and I need to check that out before.
That's the one with David Dahl Thomas.
Schmalin.
Yeah, I can't say his name. He's great. You know, he's great in the second Suicide Squad movie. He was in the Dark Knight. He was one of those bit roles, or with he was one of the inmates, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the inmates in the psych ward. There we go.
Arkham Asylum.
Yes. When I think he's being threatened and stuff by Two-Face's character, and he's like flipping the coin and playing Russian roulette with him, and he freaks out and all that. I was like, oh wow, that's such a cool role. And I'm just so glad that I've seen, like, that guy has become prolific as fuck since then. He has a comic book series as well.
I've read it. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun one, man. It's real
That's
fun.
so cool. I've been wanting to check it out. Like, I thought it looked pretty interesting. And like, I don't know much about this one coming up. I've seen like a little trailer clips here and there.
It looks like it's gonna be like it could be a good one. I'm anticipating it. Excuse me. So I would say overall, guys, this was a fun movie, and you guys each of us recommended to watch it on Shudder. Alistair, you recommend this movie?
Absolutely.
Your mother's lover. You recommend this?
With at least a 6-pack,
have some fun with it, right?
Absolutely.
Enjoy yourself.
You could definitely have a nice night with that. Yeah, there's never a dull moment in here. It's shot really well. It's got very nice practical effects. It doesn't really overdo it necessarily in anything. Yeah, it's just.
And I mean, how can you resist a poster that looks like that? Look at that.
Yeah,
there's Pedro right there in the center.
It is very fucking cool. Yeah, and when in his iconic last pose there with the gun.
Yeah,
and
I like
Malcolm right next to him.
I like the top. It says 5 stories from 5 Latino as fuck directors.
Yes. That's so funny, dude. It's awesome.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
I want them to make a sequel to this. This guy should make a series out of Satanic Hispanics. Like, he can just be bringing on other directors. Or
I'll be honest with you, I am a fan of like anthology films. Body Bags is one of my favorites. That's the Carpenter one. Mm-hmm. I like of course, like Trilogy of Terror. Like all those little short stories, like I enjoy those. They're to me, they're kind of like background movies, like, because if you don't like one, you can kind of just like look away and then wait for the next one to show up, But I did enjoy this one a lot, and it's something I probably would like to own myself, to put on my shelf back there.
I'll tell you if they put out a steelbook.
Tell me so I can just fucking look at it and not buy it and just stare at it from afar.
Sure.
I got enough right now, Roland. You showed me the Killer Clowns from Outer Space one. I'm like, God damn it, dude! Like, I can't.
That is art. Okay.
It looks so good.
Yeah,
it has such nice art on it too.
Not art to clown, just art.
Yeah, just art. Yeah. Well, I have Terrifier 2 on Steelbook back there, so I need to get the first one on Steelbook to complete that little.
I'll probably watch the third one first, and then go and watch the other two. Like I do. I never watched it in order. I just never got around to it, and I know I've done that with so many damn horror movies. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and usually we end up watching it either on Screenbox or Shudder, which is fine, But I would say that watching like Terrifier in theaters was an experience, especially with people who had like either never seen any of the Terrifier movies, not knowing what to expect. You hear a lot of like, like a lot of gasps and like gross out noises and stuff, because that's pretty much all it is. It's like just a gory ass movie, and it's entertaining. So, but I think that'll be it for us for talking about Satanic Hispanics. Hope they make another one, or at least the directors continue on it.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to follow these guys and see how they develop their. Hopefully, they got more work.
Hopefully,
man, they come out with more. I'm there every time, man.
Right on.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, I'm sold. I'll check it out. And personally, I like the fact that there's I guess movies made by Latino directors and actors and stuff, because I mean there's a lot of shit that comes out when it comes to like I saw like La Llorona, like those are like that's kind
the
of
bigger
like
budget,
iffy.
the bigger budget
Those are iffy
studios,
on those,
those kinds of things. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are either hit or miss, and I mean this was great.
And you know, actually, when I saw that Danny Trejo La Llorona, I was kind of upset because I was like, "How are you doing this? Like, you can't do this. You're making a mockery of the culture by making this movie. Stop it!" You know, it was just bad. The Conjuring one wasn't that bad, but it's still not that great. I haven't seen the one that's on Shudder that I think is actually in Spanish, which I should check out.
I've seen the beginning of it. It's real good so far. It was real good.
I'll check that out.
Cool.
You know what? We have to just let folks just make them in Spanish. Certain films, I feel like that would like help out because I think you kind of you overdub them or you just make them and it kind of like dilutes the story a little bit.
It does. You lose the inflection in the translations. Yeah, absolutely.
And
like
I've seen a lot of directors like I think Record. I don't know if that's necessarily Mexican, but it's kind of a Spanish movie. That's probably one of my favorites. I like that too.
Do you remember when you and I
in horror are doing really well?
I was just trying to think of a really solid example that you and I have checked out, Ray. But you remember when we watched JCVD way back when?
Yeah.
And Jean-Claude fucking Van Damme gave this like ridiculously awesome monologue.
Yeah.
And I was like, French, holy fuck. Yeah, I believe so. And I was like, holy fuck, I had no idea he was so goddamn articulate. Like, holy shit. It was just like, what the fuck did we just watch? Like, did he just act the shit out of this whole fucking movie in 5 seconds? Like, what the hell? And so, like you could tell when he was speaking in his, his fluent language himself, like there's just so much lost in translation. And that can happen in a lot of movies. So like, I like that they kept this, to play into everyone's linguistic strengths.
Now, even the Universal Soldier, one of the more recent ones, the one that came out in 2011, that was one of the best action movies I'd seen that year, man. It was incredible.
I've watched them all. I love them.
Oh man,
I don't care. I unironically love those movies. It's just fun to me. I've been a fan of those since the original with fucking Dolph Lundgren. It's awesome.
It's classic. It's a classic Lundgren, Van Damme, head to head.
Then the sequel had Michael Jai White with abs I have never seen before.
That guy has been like fucking jacked as far as I can remember. Like he's ageless, dude. Michael Jai White is a beast. It's fucking crazy. Actually, he's in a few Seagal films, so when we go through those, he's gonna see him. It's great.
Yeah, we'll see if we can do another reaction to all those and see how that turns out. I'm
sure expecting it'll be a wonderful
bad,
disaster.
But bad but somewhat entertaining. So hopefully. That's all I can ask for because that Attack Force was pretty bad. That was kind of boring.
Oh man, that was rough. Really was. I was surprised by how tough that one was to get through.
Well, all right, guys. That'll be it for us. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and rate and review it on any sort of platform that you're listening to. Alistair, thank you for joining us. Hope you can do it again.
Happy to be here, man. Anything on Shudder comes out, you just let me know.
Right on. That was awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, that'll be it for us. We'll see you next time.
See you
later. Just end the recording.